Hello, everybody. Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast, part 2 of our podcast today, second video. Once again, we'll all be together in audio form, but we've got pitcher signings to talk about for the Washington Nationals. And this begins with number 1. The Nationals are bringing back Sean Doolittle. It's a 1-year deal. Not sure about the specifics on the deal now, but this is exciting because Sean Doolittle is a guy that was beloved by Washington Nationals fans. And so they bring back Sean Doolittle. Is once again one of the few moves that they're making, but this is big. I talked yesterday with Max Raymond from District on Deck, and one of the things that he and I had discussed is the Nationals definitely need another lefty in the bullpen. And so Sean Doolittle is a low-cost guy they can bring in and see what he's got. Last year, he had a 4.53 ERA in 56 appearances in 2021. He pitched 49 and 2/3 innings. He's kind of become more of a lefty on lefty type guy in situation. Obviously now, though, with the 3-batter minimum, it's harder to do. In this Nationals bullpen, I expect them to try to give him full inning of work. Now, he is 35 years old, so he is getting up there in age. This becomes kind of an interesting question for the Nats. Do you give that spot to a guy, or depending where you put him in the pen, but is he going to take a spot from a young guy, or where does Sean Doolittle fit in to all of this? But it's going to be a major league deal, which means the Nationals are going to have to send somebody down or make some kind of roster move. So clearly they plan on Sean Doolittle being a part of this team, being a part of this bullpen. It's another move that they've made, and try to shorten, try to shore this thing up. They bring in Steve Cishek. We saw him. He will be joining the Washington Nationals here. We already saw him at spring training, so he is now part of this bullpen. Sean Doolittle joins the likes of Will Harris, who we think might be healthy this year, Kyle Finnegan, Tanner Rainey, Mason Thompson, all guys who have back of the bullpen potential. Maybe there's one more move to be made. I'm not sure. I feel like this might be the group, though, at this point in time they're going to roll with. So options right there for the Nationals. Last year, very good against the right-handed hitters. Very good against lefties. Obviously, left-handed Sean Doolittle. Righties really did have their way with him last season. So it's going to be interesting to see, how he does and if they can give him a full inning. Obviously, the returns, the numbers last year weren't awful, but not great. We'll see if he can return back to that 2018 form, anything like that, right? I think we all remember the year he had back in 2018 with the Nationals, where he had a 1.60 ERA and 45 innings pitched. It was a strong season that he had there. So, we'll see what his future holds in terms of positioning in the bullpen. But this is a move that I like for the Nationals, adding a left-handed pitcher, which they very much need, adding a veteran leader in the back of that bullpen where there's some young guys, and also adding somebody the fans know, the fans like, they're comfortable with, and somebody who's comfortable at Nats Park in D.C. So I like this move to start off for the Nationals. Once again, it's a cheap move. It fits their game plan. And also it's one of those guys, once again, I've talked about this a lot though, but if Sean Doolittle has a nice season up to the All-Star break, or up to the trade deadline, I should say, the Nationals will and should and probably will move him to get more assets. The Nationals right now are signing players that they can expend on short contracts and flip that into farm players. That they're almost kind of building a farm, or trying to build a farm team with these 1-year guys. The guys that allowed them to do it last year were the guys who were expiring. Now the Nationals are just going for guys who are on those shorter contracts they can potentially keep down the line or turn in to those turn into prospects that they can keep and use, or turn into guys like Lane Thomas or Riley Adams, who are not even really prospects, but they're guys who have been at the major league level a little bit, younger guys. We just need a change of scenery, whatever it is. Sean Doolittle is a type of player that could fetch those kinds of guys for you, depending on his performance. It doesn't go well, but it was a low-cost deal that really didn't hurt you that much. Also, the Nationals are bringing in Aaron Sanchez. Now, some of you guys might not be familiar with Sanchez, but he is a guy in 2010 was a first-round pick of the Blue Jays. He's 29 now. He was really good in 2016 when he finished 7th in Cy Young, and he was an all-star as well, but he's had a lot of injury issues. The only thing that's been keeping him really out of the commission have been the injuries. He's got a blister issue, split fingernail issue that required a bunch of stints back in 2017. Also had surgery, had biceps tendonitis that they also had a blister with that as well. So he's been off and on, injured and hurt, and they're going to give him a 1-year deal. It's a minor league deal. If he makes the majors, he makes $2 million. He's got up to $4 million extra, I think, in incentives. So 6 could be the total. But this is a guy who I think they want. He's been in the bullpen, but I think they want him to battle for a starting spot. Right now, it's Strasburg, we think is healthy. Knock on wood, everything seems to be going well for Steven Strasburg. You guys know my stance. Until I see it, I feel like I can't really count on it. Patrick Corbin is there. We'll see if he can rebound. Josiah Gray, Paulo Espino are 4 guys we think are right there. Eric Fetty is battling as well. Joe Ross, we got the news yesterday. It's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks after elbow surgery. And so with Anibal Sanchez, who we'll get to in a second here, also rejoining the fold, the Nationals now have several options. So Sanchez, Fetty, Espino, there's multiple Sanchez, Anibal Sanchez and Aaron Sanchez. So the 2 Sanchez's, Espino, Fetty, all going to be battling for those last couple spots at this moment in time. Obviously, the one guy we've talked about a lot and mentioned from a minor league perspective is Cade Cavalli. Can he make his way to the major leagues this year? That's the big hope. But the Nationals make this move getting Aaron Sanchez in the hopes that he can potentially bolster their bullpen, or maybe he could be an option for them, as a starter. But it's a guy who's worked out of the bullpen too. So let's see what kind of direction they go with for Aaron Sanchez. But an interesting deal, one of those low cost deals. We'll see what it could net them in terms of returns. And then one guy they bring back is Anibal Sanchez. There was a lot of buzz around Anibal Sanchez after he threw his bullpen the other day. Apparently teams were on the phone trying to get Sanchez, trying to get him, with their team or, whatever I think it is. Not sure if it's a minor league deal. I'm going to double check right now, but Anibal Sanchez coming back has not pitched since 2020. So it's 2 years out. Minor league deal for Anibal Sanchez. So, you think about that coming in there, once again, low cost, but has not pitched since 2020. Apparently looked really good in his bullpen, but he struggled to get guys out back in 2020. Just was not going well for him. A 6.62 ERA and 11 starts that he made back in 2020. And so for the Nationals, they don't need anything like that ever. Again, it's not going to be optimal for the Nats if that ends up being the Anibal Sanchez that we see. So he's going to have to earn that spot. But there are guys now fighting for those spots, and we always knew they would be. But the questions of who is it going to be fighting is been answered, and that's why the Nationals back end of the rotation is just not going to be. Does not look like it's going to be very good, because right now fighting it out, you've got Eric Fetty, who to me is probably a leader in the clubhouse, but it's not like Eric Fetty's been great. Paulo Espino, who is, a journeyman who just started making a lot of big strides last season in terms of Major League Baseball career. It's, his most prominent year he's had in the big leagues. Anibal Sanchez, who's at the tail end of his career, and Aaron Sanchez, who's 29 but has been battling injuries his whole career. So they've got all of these misfit toys, if you will. Couple first round picks who haven't panned out, and Eric Fetty and Aaron Sanchez, one old timer at least, and Anibal Sanchez, and then also one older guy, but who's a journeyman veteran in Paulo Espino. That's why Nationals have to work on developing those younger pitchers to get those guys in the rotation as fast as they can. So there are your latest Nationals moves. I'm sure we'll see some more of them here in the coming days, some minor moves, but spring training has begun. We'll have more updates. It's great to see. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Before we get out of here, quick word from our sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Run Your Pool and runyourpool.com. It's the best place for you guys to get in on the bracket action this season. Also, today's show is brought to you by Built Bar. Go to built.com today. It's built.com. Check out the full extensive line of Built Bars that they've got going right now. Several flavors available at built.com. Mint brownie, coconut almond, and new white chocolate cookies and cream. Built Bars have 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Go to built.com today. That's built.com. Promo code LOCK15, LOCKED15, LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com today. All right. Also, make sure you go check out our Nelson Cruz video if you guys are watching on YouTube. If you are listening, all of this will be together for Monday's show. Make sure you find us on Twitter at LO_Nationals. You can follow me at JoshNeighbors_. Find the show wherever you guys get your podcast and on YouTube.